It's time for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris at Slumberland Furniture. From Slumberland Furniture in Osage Beach, here are your hosts, William Holtz and Chris Schneider.
Welcome to this week's edition of A Cup of Coffee from Slumberland at the Lake. I'm Wild Will.
I'm Uncle Chris.
And this week we're going to have Matt Kostelnik with the Eldon Chamber on here in just a couple minutes to talk about Turkey Fest, lots of upcoming events in Eldon, and also some sad local headlines as the Lake community mourns the passing of Osage Beach police officer Phylicia Carson. Just heartbreaking situation. We'll talk a little bit about that. Plus, Osage River Gaming, they had wanted to get that casino on the ballot, the 14th amended license for the state of Missouri potentially. That was off the ballot. Well, things have changed there. We'll tell you about that and a whole lot more when we return. But first, it's Slumberland at the Lake. And on the other side of this break, Chris, you're going to be joined by Matt Kostelnik with the Eldon Chamber.
Hey everybody, Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. It's football time here in the Midwest. Can you sit and watch football all day long? If not, you need to come check out our comfortable seats here at Slumberland. We have sectionals, we have reclining sofas, and we have the big, nice recliners. You need to come see them. They're all on sale. And we have interest-free financing. Don't forget, we deliver the entire lake area. So come see us at Slumberland Furniture, where we're bringing happy home.
Okay, so we've got on set with us here Matt Kostelnik. He is with the Eldon Chamber of Commerce. And what an amazing job you've been doing over there in the how long have you been there? About 2 years?
Oh, probably a year and a half.
Year and a half. It has been an amazing resurgence in Eldon, and a lot of that has to do with Matt here. So you got a whole bunch of things coming up here in the next few weeks. You've got the Turkey Festival, and you've got a golf tournament in September and October. So let's start off with the Turkey Festival. When exactly is that?
So Turkey Festival is September 28th. It starts at 9 and ends around 4 p.m. We have a parade that will be at 10 a.m. So that last year was very big. I mean, it wrapped around the whole city.
Wow.
Last year, I think we had more people there than we had in the past. And this year we even grown beyond that too. So it's going to be an exciting day.
It's incredible. September 28th, it's a one-day event then.
Yep.
Okay, so what is a turkey festival? When I think of a turkey festival, I think of turkeys like running all over town or something. That's probably not what it is, right?
Well, there is a lot of people running around town, but we just get a lot of craft vendors and food trucks coming into our downtown area. This is a great event to showcase Eldon and our community, and even our downtown district. And we have a lot of businesses that have been there for probably longer than Turkey Festival has been around. But we've also got some new businesses that have come to Maple Street, and it's exciting to see.
Yeah.
But this is a great event for not just the crafters who want to show off their crafts, but it's also for the businesses, because if it's hot or whatever, people can still go into these businesses and see all the mom and pop shops. So it's really neat.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. It's pretty cool. We were doing the math earlier. This is the 38th annual Turkey Fest. That means it had to start in 1986. So
yeah, way before my time.
Unfortunately, not before my time. I remember 1986 pretty well. And then after the Turkey Festival on September 28th, which you probably want to take part in, how can people get more information on that, by the way?
So for our Turkey Festival, just watch our Facebook page. We'll be starting posting a little bit more stuff and content on that. But if you want to be a vendor, we still have spots available. Or if you want to be in the parade, you can do that too. Go to our website at eldonchamber.com. Go under the events tab, and you'll see all those forms there. We also have our little Mr. and Mrs. Pageant. I would say it's Turkeys and Gobbler pageant, and it's awesome to see these little kids raise money for good causes. So it's a penny a vote, and so it's really neat. We had probably like 12 kids last year, so it was a really big turnout. We also are going to add a scavenger hunt for families. This is something kind of new, and we kind of sprung it up right at the last minute. But our goal is to make this a family fun event, not just for kids, but for families, and have something to do. So you can stop by the chamber booth, pick up your scavenger hunt list, and we're going to ask that you just take pictures of different things that we will ask. It's very vague, and post it to our Facebook page. and you can get a chance to win some gift cards for local businesses.
How cool is that? So there's a whole lot of fun stuff around the Turkey Festival, so that's kind of cool.
And then we also have I gotta get this in because if I would be in trouble if I didn't say this, but our turkey legs, that's the iconic.
That's like the main reason to go for me, right?
I mean, it's one of the main reasons, and it's awesome to see. We sold out last year, and we're excited. We hope we do the same thing. Hopefully the weather's all great, but the turkey legs, the turkey tenders, and I mean, all the other crafts.
I love
awesome.
turkey. I love turkey legs, man. That's like my favorite, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is September 28th, the Turkey Festival in Eldon. And then coming in October 18th, I think, is your annual golf tournament, right?
Yep. So we kind of brought that back. It was kind of taking a vacation for 5 or 6 years, and we brought it back last year, and we had over 20 teams and over 20 sponsors for the whole sponsors, and it was a really big turnout.
Yeah.
And we're excited for it this year because I think we'll have even more, and we're excited. We're having this new opportunity where if businesses are not the golfers, but they don't want to be in the office on a Friday afternoon, they can do our T-Box sponsorship and showcase their business, meet clients, customers, and get their name out. And that's October 18th at 12 o'clock at the Eldon Golf Club. And if more information on that, you can go on our website. Those forms will be there as well.
Okay, and your website again is what?
eldonchamber.com.
Okay, and what is your Facebook page?
Eldon Chamber.
Okay, there you go. It's easy to remember. A lot of incredible things happen in Eldon, and again, a lot of it thanks to this guy who has taken over the Chamber of Commerce the last couple of years and really revitalizing things over there.
It's not just me, though. I thank you for the kind gestures, but it's really, even with Turkey Fest, it's not just me. I have a really good board that helps with it. The city is a big part in it, and not just the city staff. You know, it could be the police department, the public works. They do a fantastic job with that, but it's also the community.
Yep.
If having that community buy-in and the businesses, they are the reasons why Eldon is succeeding the way it is. It's growing the way it is. It's the people there, and I'm just fortunate to be part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an amazing team over there. Again, Turkey Festival, September 28th, the golf tournament, October 18th. A lot of great things happening in Eldon. Matt, thanks for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
You betcha. And we've got a big high school football game in Eldon this week. Check that out.
Go Mustangs.
Don't you just love high school football? This makes 12 straight years of local high school football on Lake TV. Friday night, William Holtz and Mike Bissell bring you a Week 2 showdown between Versailles and Eldon. Tigers and Mustangs in different conferences now, but the rivalry's still strong. It all starts with a COMC pregame show at 6:30, kickoff at 7, all presented by Polylift Boat Lifts. High school football Friday night, Tigers and Mustangs on Lake TV.
All right, what a great guy Matt is. And what a job he's done over there at Eldon.
Just amazing. He's only been there a year and a half, and he has just completely brought a new energy to that town and to the businesses there and everything. It is thriving there in Eldon now.
Yeah, and the whole community really. We saw that on full display when we went to that ribbon cutting a couple weeks ago, or that groundbreaking ceremony with Quaker, and got to see Governor Carson, and we got to see all kinds of distinguished guests that were there on behalf of Eldon. Superintendent Matt Davis, we saw Matt, and yeah, I mean the culture, the environment, the excitement around the city of Eldon. Lots of reasons to be excited, and one of those, as you alluded to, is the Eldon Mustangs.
Yeah.
Off to a quick 1-0 start under Nick Griffin.
Big game this Friday night on Lake TV as Eldon will entertain Versailles. Long-time rivalries. They're not in the same conference anymore, but the rivalry is still there. Ought to be a lot of fun. And you and Mike Bissell will have the call Friday night right here on Lake TV.
Excited about that. And, of course, we had Osage get off to a big win.
Yeah.
35-0 they won. They're 1-0. Camdenton on the road at Jeff City obliterates them. They're 1-0.
Yeah.
And, of course, Eldon 35-7 over Fulton. They're 1-0. Versailles struggled on the road at Knob Noster, and so we'll have the Tigers and the Mustangs in a good one, but a good start here for our local teams.
Yeah, it really is. And I was a little surprised, to tell you the truth. I didn't know how Camdenton was going to do against a Jeff City team that went to the Final Four last year. New conference for the Lakers, and they just rolled Friday night. And then great 35-0 win for Osage over a really good Bolivar team that went deep into the playoffs last year. So what a great start for those two teams in Eldon, of course. So, yeah, I'm excited, man, fired up.
In Camdenton, they're like the Durnans never will leave. Now Carson Durnan,
Yeah.
the new quarterback for the Lakers, 2 touchdown passes, 3 touchdown runs.
Wow.
He had 5 touchdowns
Yeah.
Friday night. And Jeff City is no slouch, going on the road to play the Jays. So congratulations to our local teams, and we'll get you ready for that. Now, as we shift focus, the entire Lake community has mourned the tragic passing of Osage Beach police officer Phylicia Carson, 33 years old. Carson was killed tragically August 31st in line of duty during a high-speed chase. Carson was the secondary pursuit vehicle beginning on westbound Highway 54 at approximately 1:18 a.m. near Passover. Now, the pursuit continued on Y Road, then onto Route A. Her vehicle went off the roadway, struck a tree, and was engulfed in flames. Now, Phylicia Carson joined the Osage Police Department in June of 2023. She was beloved by all that knew her, a true bright spot on the force. Carson leaves behind a husband and 6 children. Her husband's a canine officer with Miller County, and just a heartbreaking tragedy. Over the weekend, there was an outpouring of support as an Osage Beach patrol vehicle was covered in flowers right there in front of the City Hall as a tribute to Carson. There were flower arrangements, many of which were pink, which was described as Carson's favorite color. But just heartbreaking, and you've seen the way this has already impacted the Lake community. Just a terrible, terrible situation, and we continue to keep the Carson family, the Osage Beach Police Department, and all local law enforcement agencies that are impacted by this in our community in our thoughts and prayers. Just a heartbreaking situation here, and services had been scheduled for Thursday, September 5th, at the Lodge of Four Seasons visitation from 11 to 1 with the service immediately following, and that was handled by Hedges Scott Millard Family Chapels. Now, I don't know if you saw in the press conference on Saturday morning at City Hall, Osage Beach had a press conference. Chief Chad Davis, Mayor Michael Harmison, and Prosecutor Rochelle Christensen Grosvenor had all spoke, and it wasn't identified at that time, but the suspect later identified as 23-year-old Christopher Aaron Bishop Waymeyer from Camdenton. Now, the arraignment took place Tuesday morning in the Camden County Associate Court, and as far as fundraisers and things of that nature to support the family, there has been an official fundraiser set up through the Mason Griffin Foundation, and that link is out there. You can see it on your screen. You can see it shared to our Facebook page. But just heartbreaking, Chris, and has really been all you've seen anywhere you look as our community starts to pick up the pieces from this tragic event.
Yeah, and it's not just local news. This became national news. I saw a story from the New York Post that they put out on this. I mean, not just a young, beautiful female officer, 33 years old, but 6 children left behind and a husband. It's just, so incredibly heartbreaking. In the New York Post story, they ended the story with the department received a report of a vehicle on fire on the highway on which Carson was pursuing the suspect. Police tried contacting her but were unsuccessful. It just breaks your heart. It just almost brings me to tears. It's so sad. So
yeah, just heartbreaking. And as far as the timing of this, now we had told you over the last couple of weeks about some of the new Missouri laws that were set to go into effect, and one of those that took effect on Wednesday, August 28th, was Valentine's Law, also known as 575.151 RSMO, and this is Valentine's Law that says anytime somebody flees law enforcement, that they're going to be held to the highest extent of the law. Now, there's varying degrees of this, but Camden County prosecutor officially filed charges after receiving the PC statement, and Waymeyer is being charged with a Class A felony, aggravated fleeing a stop or detention motor vehicle causing a death. Now, as I said, the arraignment was in Camden County Associate Circuit Court on Tuesday. Leading into the arraignment, Judge Heller Miller had denied bond, and if Waymeyer is found guilty, he will be facing a minimum of 10 years in prison with a maximum of 30 years, not to exceed life in prison.
Yeah.
So And this is a 23-year-old young man who no previous record, no charges, and this decision has cost a family, their mother, six children without a mom, and a husband without his wife to pick up the pieces. And so that decision will obviously come with consequences, but none greater than living with that for the rest of your days and knowing.
23 years old. To make a mistake like that, when we were all 23, we were all very stupid, made mistakes, and sometimes mistakes that would have been very, very bad like that. But, by the grace of God, we didn't get stuck with those. This kid is now stuck with this, and it's obviously going to affect him for a long time. And it is so tragic. But you're right. I mean, he could go to jail, and maybe the biggest piece of that in his thing is knowing that he's responsible for the death of a mother of 6 children. And, it's so hard.
Nobody wins here. And we continue to keep the Osage Beach Police Department, the Carson family, and again, everybody who is affected by this tragic happening in our thoughts and prayers. Just heartbreaking. And we'll continue to follow this case. I mean, you alluded to the fact that it's a national case, being the first time that Valentine's Law is going to be utilized or be tapped into. You're seeing CNN, Fox News, New York Post all cover this, and so we'll continue to keep you posted. But just never fun, these type of stories. And it was the first time in Osage Beach Police Chief Todd Davis in his 30-plus years with the department. This is the first line of duty death by a Osage Beach police officer. So just heartbreaking.
Yep.
All right, now as we move forward in local headlines now, it had been a hot button issue leading into the primary election, getting ready for November's general election. But do you remember they were trying to get on the ballot an amendment for the Missouri Constitution to allow a 14th casino, and this would be along the Osage River. Osage River Gaming, Bally Sports, they had been teaming together to gain signatures. Well, the report had come out a couple weeks ago that it failed. It didn't get enough signatures. We talked with Lake Ozark Mayor Dennis Newberry. He said, hey, we hate to see that. We do still feel like there's means to get this on the ballot, even if we have to appeal. When he says we, he's speaking on behalf of the Osage River Gaming and Bally Sports. Well, it didn't take long for that to come to fruition. On Friday, August 30th, a Cole County judge ruled that the petition to add a 14th casino license to the Missouri Constitution did indeed get enough signatures.
Yeah. It was we were both surprised, I think, when we heard the news that they didn't get enough signatures, to make the ballot, because kind of thought that was a done deal. But then you see the 180 turn, here. It kind of makes you wonder, okay, what's going on in the back rooms behind the scenes? Who's pulling the triggers and, making things like this happen? So it goes from being off the ballot, not even going to be an issue, to on the ballot. Man, this is some weird stuff, but a big step forward for the Osage River Gaming Commission in getting a casino at the Lake of the Ozarks. This is just a huge, massive step forward in that.
Yeah, initially the petition allegedly fell about 2,000 signatures short, but the lawsuit ruled in favor of Osage River Gaming. Now this is weird because last week we told you about Secretary of State's office, Jay Ashcroft. Well, it was his office that conceded in front of a judge that they did get enough signatures. An Osage River Gaming spokesperson, John Hancock, thought that name was interesting.
Yeah, fascinating.
John Hancock, nothing nefarious was being done that he knew. He said they just ran out of time for the November ballot and that it was the last thing ballot-wise or signature-wise that got turned in, so he thinks they just ran out of time. But after the lawsuit, they had to recount, and they said, no, you didn't fall short. Now, the November ballot was already finalized earlier in August, and so this court order actually allows the ballot to be changed ahead of time for the November election coming up. So now, although a huge step for Osage River Gaming and Bally Sports, now Missouri voters will be faced with that decision on Tuesday, November 5th. Will you vote yes or will you vote no for an amendment for the Missouri Constitution? That will tell whether or not this has a path to move forward. But it is a big step because it was off the ballot without a possibility, and now we're going to see that. But also remember, there's a September 5th hearing in Cole County as well. That includes Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft's office as far as sports betting.
Yeah.
Remember, we told you last week that the two group of political advisors out of Cole County filed a lawsuit saying, hey, you used the old congressional districts in the state of Missouri to say there were enough signatures in each of the districts.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to happen later this week, which we don't know that hearing by the time we recorded this. But so you ask what's going on. I would wonder what is going on with Secretary of State, Missouri Secretary of State's office, John J. Ashcroft, because that's two big issues where they've had to go back and forth there in Cole County Court a lot the last couple of weeks, including this hearing on the 5th coming up, which we don't know about. So a lot on that November ballot in regards to casinos and sports betting. It's like, whew.
Yeah, it seems like maybe Ashcroft's office didn't do a great job reining in this election because they're having these different problems.
Wonder if he was campaigning.
Well, yeah, he was running for governor, remember that. So this is interesting. It's also interesting to me that it's really out of the hands of the Lake of the Ozark residents. I mean, we can obviously vote, but this is a statewide vote now, so people in Kansas City and St. Louis and Springfield will basically be deciding whether or not there can be a casino at the Lake of the Ozarks. Yeah, it's kind of been taken out of the locals' hands now.
Sure, which I think they kind of bank on that much, knowing they don't need the local support quite as much as the locals would like to think they do.
And I will say this, if it passes, if they do bring a casino, to the Lake of the Ozarks, or two, because remember the, Indian nation is planning on bringing a casino in. That would be potentially 2 casinos. If they bring a casino into the area, that is going to bring business. I mean, that will bring big business into the area. Whether it's business we want, that's, another thing, but it will bring more people and more business, more money into the area.
I'm just practicing now because in case they do bring a casino to the lake area, 1-800-BETS-OFF. I'm going to need that number in case they do bring a casino to the area. So let's hope that there may not be. Hey, so in another wild local story, did you see that there's been felony gun charges filed against a Camdenton man? This is a completely separate incident, so a wild weekend as a whole, but did you see that story?
I did see that. Filed in Miller County against a Camdenton man for an incident that happened during the early morning hours of March 31st. Okay, so this was a while ago at a Lake Ozark establishment. Lake Ozark police say officers dispatched the unidentified location in or near, and I'm not familiar with where this is, the 1200 block of the Strip. So somewhere down on the Strip by the dam, after a report of shots fired, and upon getting there, they found that a bouncer had disarmed this guy, Victor Silva Cruz, who was being restrained by others. So shots fired, the bouncers step in, good job bouncers, and restrain this guy. Lake Ozark police also say that Silva Cruz allegedly admitted that he was in possession of a handgun, which he claimed discharged accidentally before he took off running and then refused to submit to a breathalyzer test. So there's another red flag there. He was taken to the Miller County Jail that morning, has since been charged with unlawful use of a weapon for being intoxicated and in possession of a loaded weapon. Summons with a court date in October was issued for Silva Cruz arraignment. So yeah, another one of those incidents, and we get these every once in a while down on the Strip where somebody gets liquored up or something and shots are fired, and thank the Lord, usually nobody gets hurt in these things. Every once in a while, I mean, we had that shooting a couple years ago that had a fatality and stuff, but here's another one. Thank goodness nobody was hurt.
No doubt.
But Silva Cruz could be in for a little bit of trouble there.
Yeah, and we'll keep you posted on that. And another local headline, of course, as we still feel heavy, the passing of Phylicia Carson, another longtime Lake Ozark police officer, now longtime Lake Area Water Patrolman William Swinberg, passed away August 22nd at the age of 77. Now, Swinberg retired with the rank of captain after serving 30 years with the Missouri State Water Patrol. He also worked closely with the FBI, the ATF, the IRS, and the DEA. Now, he was credited with ending arguably the most notorious manhunt in the history of the state of Missouri, Allie's Ben Johns, which he was involved in capturing him in a cabin in Benton County. Now, Ben Johns was wanted for numerous murders, including in Camden County, and eluded law enforcement for over 6 months. The visitation and services will be done by Hedges Scott Millard Funeral Home in Osage Beach on September 20th, and there will be a celebration of life at Margaritaville. So we here at Lake TV lift up the friends, the family of longtime Lake Area Water Patrolman William Swinberg, thanking him for his many years of service to the lake area. And just wild, all that kind of comes in bunches, but a tough weekend, tough week as a whole for law enforcement in the state of Missouri and here in this area as a whole.
Yeah, it is another sad passing there, and it like you said, it's just the wrong time. They say these things go in threes, right? Like a big Hollywood star dies, and usually there's like 3 that die in a short period of time. Here we've got 2. Hopefully it stops there.
No doubt about it. So, hey, in our next segment each week, we kind of run you down through the LOZ rumor mill with our friends at the LOZ app. Don't forget, you can watch Lake TV on the LOZ app 24/7, including cup of coffee, our live high school football, right through your phone. It's so easy on the Google Play Store or on the App Store through Apple. Pretty incredible, so you're going to want to add that if you haven't already. But look, I saw a report that talked about Missouri's favorite grocery store. It went on to talk about all of the state's favorite grocery stores, and they listed Missouri's favorite grocery store as, what would you think it is?
Boy, I don't know. Down here, I mean, you got Hy-Vee, you got Woods, you got, those. I would guess maybe Woods. I don't know.
So, Schnucks, they listed as Missouri's favorite grocery store.
I've never even heard of Schnucks before.
It's big in some of the bigger cities, but Stats Panda said it's most popular in Missouri, and this report analyzed foot traffic, site visits, and Google Trends data. However, according to numerous other polls I looked at on Google, it actually looks like Hy-Vee leads Missouri. That's where I would have been. They're big in Columbia, they're big in Jeff City, they're big in St. Louis, Springfield, so that's who I thought. However, I kind of want to know about Lake of the Ozarks. So you guys, tell me, what's your favorite grocery store here at Lake of the Ozarks? Do you go with Hy-Vee? You go with Deerberg's, Woods, Save-A-Lot, Gerb's, or Town & Country?
Yeah.
Those are your 6 options. So I want to know from you at Lake of the Ozarks, what is your favorite grocery store down here at the lake and why? Tell us that for this week's LOZ Rumor Mill, brought to you by our friends at the LOZ app.
I'm really interested to see what comes out of that, because that's a great question. What is your favorite grocery store here at the Lake of the Ozarks?
Well, I'm glad I can ask. We couldn't ask when we worked with Hy-Vee.
No,
right? And
there was only one.
There's only one option. And that's what I thought a lot of people would say, because there was other polls that said that across Missouri. I mean, it's huge in Iowa, obviously. It's huge in Missouri. So Schnucks kind of surprised me. But I was like, man, down at the lake, people love Deerberg's, they love Woods, they love Town & Country and Lori, they love Hy-Vee. So it'll just be interesting to see. We kind of wanted to know it.
You remember the old Carl's grocery store in Camdenton? That was like a classic back in the 70s, 80s, 90s. I never saw it, but I've heard about it. So.
Every time I hear Carl, the only thing I can think about is Lorraine from Mad TV. Her husband was Carl. Carl. That's all I can think about. But hey, also want to keep you guys posted on all the great stuff taking place on Lake TV. We're really excited now. We did have a little hiccup on our doc series. We're hoping to get that kicked back off. But man, I'm telling you, this year we've had more docs that have not been finished. People have retired, sold their home, and it's like, so we're hoping to still have some doc series for you this year. But we do have high school football, as we told you. Our high school football coaches show. How great is that, sitting with those 2 guys each week?
We sit down with Osage coach Shannon Jolly, who's off to a great start, and Camdenton coach Par Pitts, who's off to a great start. So you can see that every day, well, not every day, Tuesday through Friday of game weeks at 6:30 a.m., 12:30 noon hour, and 6:30 p.m. Great stuff. You got to watch.
And I hear Osage might be getting like a really good transfer quarterback, like Monster Power Arm.
Oh, yeah. He looks a lot like William here. Yeah.
Coach Jolly is begging for us to come back out. So stay tuned. We might have something cool coming for you with Will trying to join the Osage Indians team at the ripe age of 33. Plus, we've got Tom and Michelle Kitchen, 2 of my favorite people at Lake of the Ozarks, on this week's Community Spotlight show with Uncle Chris. Don't you love those 2?
Oh, they're so wonderful. Great photographers, among other things. You got to see that show, Community Spotlight show. Wonderful with the Kitchens.
Yeah, and also, this Saturday, don't miss a brand new LOZ Premier Properties with Michelle Leisman from right here at Slumberland at the lake. And believe it or not, all the time we got. So until next week, thanks for watching.